I'm Noreen, and welcome to my kitchen and another episode of What's for Dinner. Tonight, we've got a fall special for you. Tonight, we're going to be making a cast iron skillet, bacon-wrapped, apple cider glazed pork loin chop. And man, is this thing going to knock your socks off. I promise. We've paired it with some Old South succotash and a baked sweet potato, but you can make yours any way you like. Let's go see how we make these. We're going to get started right away on building these bacon-wrapped pork loin chops. And basically what this is like the porky version of a bacon-wrapped filet mignon. Only it's a lot cheaper, and it's, I think, maybe
better.
Just as delicious. Maybe. I like a bacon-wrapped pork chop. It's delicious. Okay, so what we're going to do is I have 5 pork loin chops that are very thick. All right? They're about 1.5 inches thick, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I got these at Sam's Club, and it came in a package with 9, so I only took out 5, and I put the other 4 in the freezer and for another meal. So I also have 5 slices of thick cut, or butcher's cut bacon is what they're calling it. We're going to season...
And ironically, it's also about 1.5 inches thick, wide.
I didn't even notice that, so that's very convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for pointing that out, honey.
I think it was made
It was made on purpose. Mm-hmm. It was just a happy accident. It was serendipitous. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what it was. All right, now I'll put my big words away. We're going to season these up very simply. I'm going to use a combination of my Szeged rib rub and my Szeged chicken rub, and I'm going to use them together because they both have a little bit different flavor profiles. The rib rub has has paprika and brown sugar, and it has a smokier profile. The chicken rub has a little saltier profile and a sagier profile, both of which go very well with pork. So I'm going to hit them with both because that's what I prefer. We're then going to sear these off in the iron skillet, which I have preheating on the stove right now. And then we're going to make a glaze out of apple cider. I have a cup of apple cider. I have a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. I have 2 tablespoons of packed brown sugar, quarter cup of packed brown sugar. And we're going to use 2 tablespoons of grainy mustard. And then we're going to pour that over the seared pork chops, and then we're going to pop them in the oven with some sweet potatoes that I have baking right now. And that's at 400 degrees. And then we're just going to cook these off until their internal temperature reaches 160 degrees. So I also have some toothpicks, and we're going to be using that. This is pretty self-explanatory. You take a pork chop, and you take a slice of bacon, because, you know, you can't have too much bacon, right? Because what, honey? Bacon makes everything better. All right, let me get some of these out. Now, I'm just going to take, I have these very long, they're like hors d'oeuvre picks, and I prefer these. All right, I've got all these pork chops wrapped. It only takes a few minutes. And now I'm going to just hit this with my pork rub. My rib rub. And this is very barbecue-y smelling, and I really, really like that. Szeged, I love these spices, and if you want to know where I get these, I get them from Columbia Spice Company, and they have sponsored a couple of giveaways here on the channel in the past, and I just love working with them. And they have the best prices, and they have everything Szeged has to offer. Because I also have not just the rib rub and the chicken rub, but I also have steak rub, fish rub. I have garlic powder, cinnamon sugar, paprika, hot paprika, and pizza seasoning, which is to die for. I absolutely love their pizza seasoning. Oh, I'll leave you out, buddy. So once you get both sides seasoned, one side seasoned rather, go ahead and give it a good press with your fingers. That way, you won't lose too much when you put it in the skillet. And remember, you always want to liberally season your chops or your steak or whatever it is you're making, because a lot of times you're going to lose that, whether you're putting it on the grill or in a pan. You know, it doesn't matter. we're going to head on over to the stove and we're going to start searing these off. Alright, I've got this ready to go and the pan is nice and hot and I'm just going to lay my chops in here. I have also put about a tablespoon of what Rick likes to call bacon nectar in the bottom of the pan just to get it nice and hot, you know, get it so it's not going to stick too bad, okay? Now, we're going to want to sear these off. You're going to want to let these cook on one side 4 to 5 minutes. Then we're going to do the other side for a couple more minutes, and then we're going to pop them in the oven. When it's time to flip these over, I'll be back to show you what they look like. All right, while we're waiting for our pork chops to finish searing, we're going to go ahead and build our glaze. I have 1 cup of apple cider. This is fresh, locally pressed cider, so, you know, you get what you have available to you. I'm also adding a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Now, I know that seems odd, but the cider is sweet, the vinegar is tangy, and it's going to add balance to your dish and your flavor profile. I'm also going to go ahead and add the brown sugar, which is going to help, it's going to be the glazing agent. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons or thereabouts of grainy mustard. No need to add any additional seasonings to this because all of the seasoning that we put on the outside of the chops is going to be plenty in the end because it's going to come up off the bottom of the pan. It's going to be awesome. So we're just going to now wait for our pork chops to be finished searing and we'll be back when it's time to put this all together. All right, I have gone ahead and turned these over. It was only about 4 minutes. We went ahead and we made the glaze, and when I came back and checked, the center one is nice and brown. This is a properly cooked chop, and the seasonings on the outside have been cooked in that baking fat on the bottom. And we're going to now go ahead and just let the other side sear for a few more minutes, and then we're going to add the glaze. So we'll be back when it's time to do that. All right, we have finished searing off our pork chops. Now, these are by no means finished cooking, okay? And I moved them around in the pan so that they wouldn't get too uneven. And now, the simple part. Now, make sure your oven is preheated between 375 and 400. There we go. Now, get yourself a hot pad. Tell the dog to move. Go on, Maggie. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this on the very bottom of the oven. Take off your handle cover. Now I'm going to bake those for about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to check the internal temperature. So we'll be back when it's time to do that. All right. I think it's time to pull our pork chops out. I turned the heat down just a little because I didn't want them to scorch, but our glaze is kind of like a sauce, and that's quite all right. It doesn't need to be sticky. It just needs to be delicious. That's all. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take the temperature on these with an instant read thermometer. Let's see what this does. You want it to reach at least 160 degrees, and then we're going to let them, there we go. We're going to let these rest for about 10 minutes while everything else comes together, and then we'll bring you back and we'll fix you a plate of these delicious iron skillet, bacon wrapped, cider glazed pork chops. Alright, there you have it. We've plated it up for you. Our delicious cast iron skillet, bacon wrapped, cider glazed pork loin chop. I know that's a mouthful, but this is worthy of that title. It totally is. So, you know, we've got to try it, right? You ready, honey?
If I have to.
Oh, I know. You have to. Okay, you ready? Now, I have spooned over some of the pan juices as well. Does it meet your approval?
That is heaven.
It's beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful. My turn. Maggie wants some.
It goes so well together.
It's phenomenal. You have got to try this. It's delicious.
How long have I been after you?
You've been after me quite a while. Oh, you've got to try this.
So good.
It's amazing. So, now you have your assignment. Go and get the stuff to make these because you are just going to be so happy that you did. I hope you give these a try, and I hope you love them. And until next time, I'll see ya. Thank you for joining me in my kitchen today. I hope you liked what you watched today, and I hope that you try it, and I hope that you love it. If you like what you saw, please consider hitting the thumbs up button and giving me a positive rating. And also, make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you're already not a subscriber so that you don't miss out on any of the fun we have here in our kitchen every single day. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm really glad that you're here. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to come by tomorrow. Until next time, happy eating!